Welcome to MissouriNet.com. I'm Bill Pollock. With me every Monday to talk high school sports is Jason West from Misha, and it's, I believe, the first time in the history of these Google Hangouts, Jason, you and I are color coordinated.
That is true. We didn't call each other today or anything. That's we've been spending too much time together.
I know. Yep, I saw that as oh my gosh. I'm actually surprised that it's gone this long. We've been doing these well over a year, right?
Yeah, that's very true.
That's good. Yeah, you figure Power Red, that would have happened at some point. But anyway, today, very important day, first day of practices for fall sports for high schools here in Missouri. We've got some bad rain. I know most of the state at some point will probably get rain today. So how does that affect teams in terms of the minimum number of practices that they need to get? Do they have to be on fields? Do they have some wriggle room in terms of how they can practice?
There are some, like you said, wiggle room there for these times like this, and actually that's one of the reasons why there is so much time allotted to get in those minimum 14 days of practice, so you don't have to get into a situation where you're going 6 days out of 7 just to get all the practices in. You can have some time off there, or if something like this happens where you have a lot of rain and can't get out on the field because of poor conditions, things like that, you can have indoor drill sessions or conditioning, things like that. So there is some wiggle room there, and hopefully it won't have a major impact on everyone as they get going today.
So you've got the rain today, and then as you look at the temperatures through the week, it's going to get pretty steamy because we're expected to be into the upper 90s. I think even starting on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, certainly by the end of the week. So then you've got the moisture that's going to be in the air. So then what type of precautions will teams take in terms of getting outdoor and watching the other extreme of weather?
Right, and that's the one, especially at this time of year, that everyone's most concerned with, less the rain. That they would love to have rain and cool things off, but once temperatures reach a certain point, and actually it's the heat index that we recommend looking at more so than the temperatures, and once it gets to that a certain point there, which I believe once it gets to 95 on the heat index, red flags really need to start going up, and then at a certain point, practice just needs to be stopped and taken back up at a cooler time of the day. And so many school sports go to an early morning, maybe a later evening practice session at that point when the temperatures are cooler, and try to stay out of the heart of the day, or have that afternoon heat be their rest period where they're either watching film or things like that.
Yeah, I'm looking here, at least in mid-Missouri, 97 tomorrow, 93, 95, 93. So it cools off a little bit next week. But, yeah, something that coaches and players will have to keep their eyes out for. This weekend, obviously, the players and the coaches are getting geared up, but you also need the officials to be prepared for the season. And you guys were part of a couple of clinics this weekend.
Yes, actually, the football officials have had a clinic on this weekend for several years now, and they bring in football crews from all over the state. Come in this year, it was at Battle High School, and just go over different mechanics and things like that. And it's a nice time to network. Didn't have it last year because of the national organization being in St. Louis and having the national meeting in St. Louis. And so in an effort to get a lot of our officials there, we had Officiate Missouri Day and things like that, and had a great turnout there. So they didn't have the football clinic last year, and picked it back up and had a very nice turnout for it. And then also for the first time this year was a soccer officials clinic that was held down at Helias Catholic in Jefferson City, and had a very nice turnout there where the officials were able to listen to some veterans and again, get a refresher on mechanics and things like that. So a couple of very nice different clinics for the officiating side of things over the weekend.
Yeah, no doubt. Get them prepared for the season. Something on this topic, when you think about all of the advances in technology and uniforms and all of that, why is it that football officials still look like they're dressed out of the 60s? Can we upgrade their uniforms?
Well, with the black pants and more of the slicker look that came in a couple of years ago, that's kind of helped and taken out the knickers.
Yeah, I mean, it's just
slowly but surely it's getting there.
Yeah, I know, but yeah, every year after year, you see all these sharp looking uniforms, and they're skin tight, and the sweat's wicking away off, and then here come these guys bouncing around the field. So, well, no wonder nobody takes them serious. Look at the way they're dressed. So,
well, some of these officials you don't want to see in the skin tight football pants.
It's like right. It's like some of the baseball managers still wearing the.
I don't even think my wife wants to see me in football.
That's a good point. All right, hey Jason, thanks a lot for all the info, and we'll catch up next week and see how things are rolling as we get closer to the start of school. Then.
Exactly. Sounds good.
All right, Jason West from Misha joining us, and remember you can follow all of our stuff at MissouriNet.com. And you can follow us on Twitter at Missouri Sports. Jason, thanks, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks, Bill.